Welcome to another episode of this Success Circuit. On this episode, we've targeted not just business owners, but everyone in general who wish to improve in what they are doing, no matter what it is, and to make everybody realize that your success is right in your hands, not in another person's hands. If this is the first time joining us on this educative channel, please hit the subscribe button, like and comment.
Academic education is different from wealth education. Please write it down. The true power is wealth education. You don't teach wealth education in school. You teach it in relationships. School is general, education is personal. You have to take your self-development personal. So I don't know who I'm speaking to right now. Let me tell you, you have enough time. With 2 years, you can change your life around. See, you put in 6 years in medicine. Okay, it's just a craft. It's not an ideology. Medicine is a craft. Engineering is a craft. Cooking is a craft. Wealth education is a philosophy. Please write it down. Which means I don't have to be a medical doctor to own a hospital. If I know how to run an enterprise, I can take a medical student that finishes, use your license, set up a hospital, employ you in the same license, find an accountant who is very good accountant and employ him there to checkmate the doctor, find a nurse to look at the patients, and I'll pay all of them under my own enterprise upon which they are working. Separate professional education from wealth education. There is professional education, but that is just a tool in your hand. The canvas upon which to write with that tool is called wealth education.
If you keep waiting to have everything figured out before you step out in faith and take actions, you get nothing done. Listen, perfection is an illusion. It doesn't exist in the midst of executors. There's almost no one that ever took action and had every single thing figured out from start to finish. Let me tell you something, and this will change your life. When it comes to execution, the most important thing is not necessarily having a full scope of the assignment from A to Z. It is seeing the first step. As long as the first step is in the way, as I keep ascending the staircase, I will keep on seeing the next step and the next step and the next step. Which means as I move on the ladder of success, I will fail on the way, but fail forward. I will take 2 steps forward, sometimes take 1 back, but then take the next 3 forward. That's how it goes. Never let your perfectionist tendencies rob you of the glorious future and the success that you can get from being an executor. Ideation is good, very good. It's okay to think on what you want to do, but ideation never gets the job done. It's time to step out and do it afraid. Remember, you will never have everything figured out. Back yourself for once, because if you don't, no one else will. Some people think being the smartest person in their business is a flex. Nah, it's not. It's a liability. If every single decision in your business depends on you, if no one is challenging your thinking, if you are always the final brain in the room, you're not scaling, you're stalling. You've built a ceiling, and that ceiling is you. The world's best CEOs don't just hire help. They hire. They hire people who bring fresh insight. They hire people who challenge systems. People who don't need
people who are ready to take up the challenges.
All they need is a vision to run with. And so if you want a company that would outlast you, then you need to start outsourcing your ego. Because if you're always the smartest person in the room, then maybe you need to change your rooms.
No one's coming to save you. Your friends won't save you. Your parents did their best. Your boss isn't obligated, and your partner, they're trying to figure out their own life. The truth is, no one's coming. The faster you swallow that pill, the faster you start doing what's necessary. Success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who walk. No one claps for your excuses. The world only notices when you win. So go win. Alone, if you must.
When something bad happens to us, we don't say, why is this happening to me? Instead, we think, what is God trying to teach me? And bro, this makes it hard for anyone to compete with us. Do you know why? Because when we turn a hardship into growth, we become unstoppable.
My mom used to say, "Ọmọ tó ní bàbá òun ò là, ẹnu rẹ̀ ló kò sí yẹn." I'll explain what that means in a minute. You see, one of the most humbling things about life is the fact that Many of the things you accuse your parents of may soon become your own behavior. You know, when you're young, it's easy to judge. Sometimes you look at your parents and go, you should be doing better. Well, maybe sometimes they ought to. And then you go on to say, if I were in your shoes, I would have acted differently. And sometimes you think they didn't work hard enough. That's why they're perhaps still struggling financially. No problem. You too will soon become an adult. And life will hand you bills, responsibilities, and sacrifices that you never saw coming. I know you think they didn't always make the right choices. That is your parents. But wait until you're faced with decisions where every single option feels costly. And then you realize that wisdom is sometimes about survival and not perfection. And so here's the truth. Life will humble you. The same habits, the same compromises, some of the same mistakes that you swore you will never repeat, you suddenly begin to understand them. Not because you're weak, or not because you can't do better or aren't doing better, but simply because now you see the weight of what your parents carried. And so here's my 2 cents. It is that instead of judging, start appreciating. Your parents will never be perfect, but honor the ones that you can still see today for the battles they have fought quietly. Respect them for the things they have endured so you could stand where you are today. I'm saying this because life is like a circle. The more it turns, the more you realize that your parents, in many cases, did the best that they could have done with what they had. Think about this. How many of your parents' habits are you now probably understanding? You know, when I was much younger, I was talking to my mom and you say, Shola Fimile, Irono Papo, Koleye. What that means is, leave me alone. You can't understand what I'm going through. Can I shock you? Over the last 2 years, that's one of my most used phrases. And someone says, what am I thinking? Am I still here? I say, well, leave me alone. You don't know, Papo. Which means we're not thinking the same thing. When I was younger, I watched my mom get home every day, sit on the couch and say, Jesus. Now, I get home every day, and the first thing I say is, Jesus. You get there too. No be swear. Like my people will say, Ireo. But remember,
be careful of the person who has an expensive car but doesn't have any assets or wealth, because they care more about looking successful before being successful. Why buy something that loses value when you have no real estate or assets? Flexing liabilities before building assets, it's kinda silly. It's like buying a trophy before winning a game. So remember, if your car's worth more than your net worth, you're driving in the wrong direction.
I want you to listen to these words of Ryan Holiday and play it to yourself every single day. It says, just show up. Show up even when you're tired. Show up even when you don't have to. Show up even when you have an excuse. Show up even if you're busy. Show up even if you won't get recognized for it. Show up as long as you do something every single day. Because once something is done, you can build on it. Once you've started something, momentum can grow. When you show up, then can you get lucky. Now here's the interesting part. It says, is it hard? Yes, it is. But the good news is, because it's hard, most people don't do it. I'll take that again. Because it is hard, most people don't do it. Now this means that if you're gonna get uncommon results, you have to be ready to do what's common.
You have to be ready to face your fears.
I hope this helps. And I hope you make consistency your superpower today. Show up.
Yo, you know who it is? This is X-Buster. And check out this, Rose Gold. This is the newest innovation in town. These days, people they ask you, what's your number, what's your IG, what's your contact? You don't need that one. Just carry the thing, put for their phone. So, it don't show. All my contacts, everything don't show. That's how it is. And you know this card, aside from giving out your contact, this card can also serve as your ATM card. You know, you put it. Sam, help me do about that.
It's just simple, bro. You
Simple.
just put it and
It serves as your ATM card.
debit card.
Any
Yes,
amount you
any
want to
amount
put inside.
you want.
You know, as it be. You want to be slick. You don't say be big boy, big girl. Customize with your name. See, this has my picture. My name, ex-buster, workaholic. You know what it is. Calculates for life.
Cat List has been made available in Enugu State, so we're just a DM away. If you need it, send us a DM and we'll get it across to you. It's very easy, just for an easy life.
Being broke is not a tragedy. It's a decision. And before you get mad, think about it. People have the money for weed, liquor, designer, new and the newest iPhone, but they claim they can't afford to invest. And that's why the rich look untouchable. Because while you're flexing for Instagram, they're compounding wealth in silence. Poverty is comfortable. It gives you excuses. It gives you sympathy. It gives you somebody to blame. But wealth forces you to be disciplined. It forces you to sacrifice. And that's why 99% of people will never touch real money. They love the illusion of success more than the responsibility of actually building it.
You know, life is unkind to those who have no results. And doesn't matter how hard you've tried, or how many sleepless nights you've had, or how many tears you've shed, the world rarely rewards effort. I often say that success is like an iceberg. Nobody claps for the parts beneath the water. I'm talking about the sweat, the pain, the late nights. People only celebrate the part that they can see on top. The cars, the
People
house,
only
the
celebrate
titles,
success.
the results. And so it might sound unfair, and sometimes it really is, but that is life. However, let me give you another perspective that almost no one talks about. Is that you should not get too obsessed with the results that you miss out on the beauty of the process. Because sometimes it's not even the results that matter the most. It's the person you become in the middle of the journey that counts. The late nights might not offer you so much, but it will teach you discipline. The failures can teach you resilience. And so the process has a way of molding your character so that when the results eventually show, you have the capacity to sustain them. And so yes, chase the results because they matter, but you must never forget that it is in the journey that true greatness is formed. And so don't just focus on what you're getting, focus on who you are becoming. This is life-changing.
I want to make a statement, and it's this: you cannot be successful without courage. Yes, strategy is important, and contacts and networks and insights and tools and building your social capital. All of those things are important, but the foundation of success is courage. You cannot be where you need to be if you're not prepared to leave where you are. I'm going to say that again. You cannot be where you need to be if you're not prepared to leave where you are. Courage is the foundation for success, because it takes courage to step out on the business. It takes courage to build the brand. It takes courage to say no to all the noise. It takes courage to level up. It takes courage to be consistent. It takes courage to say yes to your dreams and your calling. And most people forget about this foundation. So I want to encourage you today to build brand you need to be courageous.
Men who chase women more than money will always stay broke. If you check a man's screen time, you'll find out who he worships. Instagram baddies, dating apps, OnlyFans. Meanwhile, his business is starving, his finances non-existent, his mind obsessed with impressing women who don't even respect him. Men who chase women over purpose always lose, because the women you really want, they only come after the money, after the mastery, after you've built something worth showing up for. Get serious. The women will follow the mission.
Shut up, suit up, show up. Now, I'm speaking to myself when I say this. Shut up means stop whining. You know, there are people who don't have food today. There are people whose children are being killed today. There are people who don't have a roof over their... You have tons of things. Shut up, don't whine. Speaking to myself. Suit up means prepare, do your homework. Don't expect life just to present it to you. You have to go out and work hard at something. Show up meaning not show off, but just do the best you can. Step into life, you know. Sooner or later, life knocks us down. Death is the great democracy, but you're here to live it as best you can by lights that matter within instead of what people around you are saying, you know. And as simplistic as that slogan is, I know a lot of people have copied it and put it on their refrigerator because it's a reminder of this is your life, you're accountable. What are you going to do about that?
I'm gonna let that sink in for everybody. I think shut up, suit up, show up.
Why do you limit yourself when your Lord has limitless power? Set goals so high that they make you nervous. Stop holding back. Remember, with Allah on your side, nothing is out of reach. You only get one shot at life. Don't waste it by playing it small.
My name na Glittarz System, the #1 marketer wey dey for this part of the world. I go sit here dey market all the goods and services wey dey come my way. If you get anything wey you wan make I sell for you, I go happy to help you sell am well well. With this 20,000 milliamp solar power bank, you don't even need electricity anymore. Very affordable, strong, and long-lasting. And guess what? This power bank is available in both wholesale and retail price. So what are you waiting for?
You have to be mean and cold to be a millionaire. Mean in saying no to people. Cold in not feeling guilty when you protect your time. Mean in saying no to offers that don't value. Cold in turning down free work. Mean in naming your price and not even flinching about it. Cold in watching people get mad about it and letting them. If someone has a problem with your standards, they can take it to bed and cry about it because it is not your burden anymore. People think millionaires are heartless, but it's the opposite. They've just built boundaries so strong
Always
that
set
no
your
one
boundaries.
can guilt trip them into being average again. And you don't get rich by being liked. You get rich by not being a servant to every request that comes your way. That exact clarity is what makes them cold to people that will never get it.
You can have what you want in 5 years, but there's 2 conditions. You have to know what it is, and you have to aim at it. Figure out what you want, write it down, figure out what you could do to start moving towards that, okay? Do that with your family relationships. Do that with your friendships. Do that with your career. Do that with your education. Think about your misuse of alcohol and drugs and other things that might drag you down. Develop a vision, and you have to do that in dialogue with yourself, right? It's like, if I could have what I wanted, what would satisfy me? And you might think, well, I could never get that. And I could say, well, maybe not, but I'll tell you one thing, man. You can move towards it. And I know almost all the pleasure is in the moving toward.
If you're like hyper focused and you're just like, you like really invest the time and the effort, you can make really, really fast progress. So one of the things that I always like, I've believed in for a long time is that if you overdo things, like you like really like invest lots of time, lots of effort, you go the extra mile, you go the extra 10 miles, and you're like constantly overdoing things, then you will improve faster than anybody else by many times. And a lot of other people, maybe they're just not going the extra mile, or maybe they're just not as focused, or, you know, they're like meandering a bit more. And so that's really like, I definitely like, for me, I think a lot of what I attribute being able to accomplish so much to is really about focus and overdoing it, going the extra mile. That's what I think it boils down to.
Poverty is the parent of crime. When people have nothing to lose, rules don't matter anymore. That's why poverty doesn't just create struggle, it creates chaos. A hungry person doesn't care about the laws, they care about survival. A broke neighborhood, they don't dream about peace, they dream about escape. Poverty raises children in fight mode. It teaches them to hustle before they can spell, to lie before they can trust, to take before they can ask. That's why cycles repeat, because poverty doesn't just empty pockets, it rewires your whole entire brain. And poverty doesn't always show up as crime, it shows up as silence. It shows up as parents too tired to be present, kids who grew up faster than they should, families who stay in survival mode for generations. That's why the real wealth isn't flexing cars and watches. Real wealth is freedom from survival mode, because the opposite of poverty isn't riches, it is peace.
The next waves of millionaires, they won't start with a product. They'll start with presence, not packaging, not websites, an audience. Because the new supply chain is attention. You don't need 50 factories. You need one phone and a clear message. The brands that dominate tomorrow
know how to
are being
attract
built
attention
today by creators who know how to capture hearts before they ever ask for a sale. If you have the trust, you can launch anything, digital, physical, global, because before people buy from you, they buy into you. So stop obsessing over logos and labels. Start building community. Start building connection. Audience first, brand second, product third. That's the new empire.
Every dollar you earn, every meal you put on the table, and every bill that you pay, it's all an act of worship. The Prophet ﷺ said, the best form of charity is what you give to your family. So when you wake up every day and you work hard to provide for those you love, you're building your hereafter. Because if you really think about it, when you work for your family, you're working for Allah.
There's only 3 ethical ways to get rich. The first is to inherit it, and that's not happening for you. The second is to outsmart everyone. Easier said than done. You're not Satoshi Nakamoto. So there's only one option left, and that's outwork every man breathing. Learn until your brain bleeds. Fail until your soul hardens. Adapt, repeat, and when everyone else quits, that's when you start. Because while they're sleeping, you're becoming inevitable.
Don't forget to like, share, turn on the notification bell. So whenever we post a subsequent video, you'll be able to get notified. Bye!